All right, Mike Draco in the house with us tonight. Episode 200. We made it across the line. 200 episodes. Bruno Coppola, good evening from Laconia, New Hampshire. What's up, man? You guys are getting ready for a big to-do up there. Hey, I'm Chris from Cycle Source Magazine, your host this evening on 90 to 120 minutes. All the two-wheel bullshit we can fit on a program we called ShopTalk. 200 times ago, we gave it that name. Glad to have all you guys here. Jeremy Sather in the house. Bill Stevens with us. Man, I can't believe we have so much to talk about. So much to talk about. SmokeOut is kicking ass. It's coming at us like a runaway train. Episode 200 of Shop Talk. We have two of my dearest friends and favorite people to run into in all of Chopperdom here with us tonight. Jeff Cochran, Clinton.Wallace, two of our legacy invitational builders. 200 episodes. I can't even believe it. And I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 20% of those we were on time-ish. I mean, we were really close 20% of the time. I don't know if we probably didn't miss many of them. Hey man, grab a drink, kick back, relax, get ready. We're going live with episode 200 in just 3 minutes. Stick around. Oh man, if you guys have tuned in the last couple weeks here, we did some pre-recorded shows when we were out on the road, and there was nothing wrong with those shows whatsoever. Chopper Charlie on his epic adventure through Europe. We had Road Chip on. We had all of the Hall of Fame announcement stuff coming up for Sturgis this year. Some killer shows, but man, did we get to collect the content where we were at. We were in Myrtle Beach at Suck Bang Blow, which is an institution, or in other words, you should be institutionalized once you go there. TMMO, and I mean that with all the love, Mark. I mean, and that Mark's back in the studio today. This is going to be a great day. 2 minutes from now, it's just going to be off the hook. Shop Talk going live in 2 minutes. Oh, Bruno reminded me this is the 99th year for Laconia Bike Week. Man, 100. So many people have been back and forth about hoping it made it to 100, and it's 1 year away. You got this, Laconia. Keep your head up, your powder dry, roll through to 100. Is Mark going to Sturgis? I certainly hope so. We'll ask him that on the show in just 1 minute and 28 seconds. DuBois Custom Polishing and Plating. Now, listen, it's important that I say this before I give the shout out. Absolutely not an advertiser of the show or a sponsor in any way, but these cats take care of us. I invite you to go check them out. When you need something that's not only fast as hell, but top quality, DuBois Custom Polishing and Plating. Tell them we sent you. Just don't tell them that you can get it as fast as we do, because I do a lot of begging. 50 seconds. We're going live. Kenny Hot Rod is here with us. Bill Stevens says that DuBois got his chrome right now. Brian Woodford in the house with us. Chris Noah's here. Troy Phillips. So good to see all you guys, man. We just rolled past the double-digit mark, and that means it's time for us to launch this one. Let's get this one out of the station and up onto the tracks. We're going live with episode 200 of Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. with good reason. I have good reason to be late tonight, but it's just after 9 p.m. We're getting ready to go live with this one. We're live right now, as a matter of fact. Welcome to Shop Talk. I'm Chris Cowan with Cycle Source Magazine. I'm going to be your host for the next 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheel bullshit we can fit into this program, joined by my co-host. Everybody's back in the same room for a minute. How cool is this?
We're doing it again.
Howdy, howdy.
200, you say? 200.
200, dude. How about it? How about it?
That's pretty
So
impressive.
I have a question.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead.
Well, we're working on issue 292 of Cycle Source, which has taken you 25 years to accomplish.
Yeah.
And now we're on episode 200 of Shop Talk.
Could you imagine if you had to do one magazine a week?
Oh my!
That's
no.
what Shop Talk's been like.
Right.
Like ever since we, and listen, first I want to tell everybody
Real
that's
nice,
watching.
Heather. You know, all you're doing is putting ideas in his stupid head.
I want to tell everybody that's watching, thank you so, so much, because this is really for all three of us. I know I speak for the whole crew here. This has been an absolute honor. We've had some of the greatest guests on this show. We've got to share stories and adventures and like great product and feature bikes and everything, man. And it's because you guys tune in every week. I never thought that this thing would go as crazy as it has or last this long either. It's insane. So thank you all very much.
And
Especially if anybody has the wherewithal to go back to the first episodes where it was literally two guys on a cell phone with the share screen thing.
And then
it was so bad.
To be 200 and then to have these two guys on, which
I know.
If anybody knows,
right?
If we're in an event together and you see one of us, you see all of us, because we're usually never apart when we're together. So yeah, this is it's pretty cool. It's actually a lot of fun.
So for anybody that doesn't know the story of Shop Talk, I have to give props to Ken Connie, who started this with me back in the day. We started a thing just called Chris and Ken's Weekly Report. And it was when Facebook first came out, and I'm gonna feel so old when I say all this. When Facebook first came out with side-by-side live interviews,
yeah.
you could bring somebody on with you side by side for the first time ever. So immediately I take things entirely too far, and I start investing in different software and reading about things, and we get up to where we could bring somebody in on the phone. And I was looking through as I'm doing I did like a sizzle reel for the whole 200 deal tonight. And I'm looking at how when Jeff was on the first time, it was like episode 3 or 4. And his cue card said, "On the phone with Jeff Cochran." We were so proud that we could bring a third person in on the telephone.
And just to let you know, it hasn't stopped since. Just to let you all know.
What part?
Any of it. So when the phone rings and Chris's name comes up, I pretend like I didn't see it. So just to let you guys know. No, it's super cool, because the other thing that came from all that when the pandemic hit was doing the cyber rally thing. That was another one of the coolest freaking things ever. Like, it was a long day, but
dude,
to be able to pull that off was pretty awesome.
I can't even remember at this point how many hours it was we were live with Cyber Rally. It was insane.
I know. It was a little over 12.
Yeah, it was.
We went live for a little over 12 hours.
I stood in that garage forever.
And you know what's funny? I have to tell everybody. I have to lay it out here. Neither one of you guys were in a hurry to sit in these chairs. One at a time, I had to convince both of you to be part of this shit show.
We figured, what are you through the whole thing? But then that's what makes it good.
I think you guys did the show for, I want to say, like a full year. And then you're like, well, we need your help. I'm like, that's great, but I'm not going to be on camera.
And listen,
and it was like 6 months before I would let him put me on camera.
Yeah, it was
and
just a
then
voice.
I was like, no.
It was just this voice that would come in. And we kept telling her, we're like, Heather, look, we need you to be our Robin Quivers. And
Who's Robin Quivers?
Robin Quivers is. Like, that's what, I'm never going to find out who Robin Quivers is.
You have to.
You have to watch the movie.
She's a great person to
There's a
follow.
movie about Robin Quivers?
No, it's about Howard Stern. And what she did for.
I can't say I don't like Howard Stern. I've never heard Howard Stern.
Well, the movie's good. It would be worth watching just to see.
And what he did too. I mean, he that was a whole movement, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and speaking of movements, if you guys
hold on, this isn't going anywhere weird, is it?
Not that kind of movement.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
If you guys haven't heard, SmokeOut is back, going back to Salisbury.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a lot of what we're talking about tonight. But man, the excitement, like while we've been out on the road, people are just, for lack of a better way to say this, chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
You know, and
we got so much work done on SmokeOut while we were in the wasteland of no service Tennessee.
Were you at my house?
look at that map. Look at that vendor map filling up.
Oh boy.
So good. So good.
You know what that looks like to me? A lot of work.
Mark, would you expect anything less from
No.
Christopher? Every time he has a new idea, I
know.
just shake my head and I'm like, okay,
Yeah. So 200 shows, man. I'm gonna keep it brief tonight. We have so much to get through,
Sounds
but
fun.
you forget. Like honestly, you forget in 200 shows, the time goes by quick. Every week you're trying to come up with something new. There's stuff that you want to get to. There's stuff that we leave on the cutting room floor every week, and you forget how much you got to do, how much of a good time this has been over 200 shows. So we put a real quick thing together. I'm going to roll this, and we're going to come back and talk to it, and then real quick go to our guest tonight. So Shop Talk 200. Let's check it out.
$200 times I had to lie to my wife and tell her, no, babe, I've had that motorcycle for a long time. I didn't buy another one. You know what else is 200? 200 episodes of Chris and Heather Callan's Shop Talk with Cycle Source magazine. Pretty amazing. You know, they've been around in this industry for a long time, and to do 200 of anything successfully in this business is a pretty amazing milestone. So congratulations. Thank you for letting me be a part of that. I'll see you 200 more episodes.
Hey everyone, Kevin Baxter from Baxter's Garage and tech editor for Cycle Source magazine. I wanted to congratulate Chris and Heather and the rest of the team at Cycle Source on their 200th episode of Shop Talk. That's quite an achievement, guys. I couldn't be more proud of you and also to be part of the team. Again, congratulations on your 200th episode and a lot more to come.
So, Mark, other than wanting to give me a ration of bullshit for not putting the clip in of Jay Leno when the motorcycle fell over, because I know while we're watching that, I know that you look straight at me like, oh, you're such a sissy, you didn't put that in.
That was just having him on was pretty epic, but that was a pretty classic part.
Dude.
He was such a cool guy.
Yes,
oh my
he was.
God.
Even the way he handled that.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
he,
if you guys missed that episode, I invite you to go back to YouTube and watch it. What it was like 168 or something, Heather?
Something like that, yeah. I can go back and look.
But Jay starts out total pro. He's in Jay's garage. As he goes to get up, this 100-year-old motorcycle falls over on him, and it's live TV. Like, we don't know what to do. We're just like,
yeah, everybody was like, oh my God.
I immediately think I'm going to switch to Mark because he's going to be the level head. I switched to his camera. He's laughing his ass off. I thought I was going to have to go black so that I could resuscitate him.
Yeah, it was great.
And then Jay popped up and he said, well, there's live TV for you.
Yeah, as he laughed. Yeah.
It was so good.
Oh, shit.
So good.
But how about all of that stuff? Like, you forget about all the live shows.
Yep.
All the times where, like, I was a screaming lunatic up to 2 seconds before I hit
They
the
didn't
go
get
live.
to see that part.
Yeah. Well, that's what 75% of the shows, Heather.
Hey,
Right?
and there.
Just so everybody knows that there was a good period where it was either going to be Shop Talk or me, because he was a stark, raving lunatic while he was learning this.
Good thing you didn't stick around for the cocaine years.
Oh,
That's all I can
man.
say. So,
not
listen,
get back to that
I
again.
do want to give a shout out to Rob Nussbaum because he said, and how did you get that interview with Jay? And it was all Rob.
What is he breaking his arm, patting himself on the back out
Well,
there?
listen, Jay Leno and the Flannel Mafia, two
Yep.
things that Rob Nussbaum
Yeah.
undoubtedly brought to this program that we have to give him credit for.
Hopefully he doesn't have a tight flannel shirt on. He's going to rip the elbow, pat himself on the back. So.
That's all right.
Aw.
Hey, so
Well, we appreciate
Well, good. Yeah,
it.
Rob, I was
do.
just going to say, good. You keep patting away if you can do that. Hell, I'm for you.
So tonight's show is all about he said, "Fuck yeah," is all about going back. So we're going back. We're talking about the 200 episodes of Shop Talk. We're talking about Salisbury, going back to Salisbury with SmokeOut. If you guys missed that, we're taking over. We're carrying the torch for SmokeOut for the next however long we can manage to do it until Heather threatens me with divorce again. And
I have a question before we move on.
okay.
Does anybody have a favorite episode that they specifically remember? I think for me, it might have been Arlen Ness's memorial. I think that might have been my favorite show.
That was really good as far as a serious episode, but I'll tell you, as far as batshit crazy, the night that we did, they were doing Flat Track Fight Club.
Oh, yeah,
and we
I
had all the
remember that.
flat track racers on,
Dude, they were nuts.
and Scotty Parker was piss drunk,
Yep.
Oh,
was
and
good.
talking smack.
piss
Oh,
ignorant
man.
drunk. He was like, he kept stopping and going, "You have to excuse me. I've been on the boat all day." Like we automatically knew what being on the boat all day means.
What was the show for where we had everybody on screen? That was like, was that Lichter's?
Oh, Lichter's
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, the Invitational or whatever. That
Yep.
was a good one. Just everybody. There was so many iconic
9 people.
on that.
One of them was from Japan.
Yep.
9 different
Yeah.
builders plus Lichter
You know what?
plus us.
And Peter Manning is here, and you know what?
Oh, right
that just
on.
reminded me the episode we did from Bonneville Salt Flats.
Yeah.
Like, how cool was that?
Yep.
Yep. Actually,
That was
live
so
on
cool.
the salt. We had just enough. Just enough.
So many have
we
been
really
cool.
are lucky.
Yep. That's right.
And again, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Even when it's hard and you get to go to the events and get to see the people and be a part of this stuff, it may be a pain in the ass sometimes and a lot of work, but, again, it's fulfilling. I can tell you that. So, and this may be my only thing that I really have left. Hopefully now I'm going to be able to start coming back in a little more. That shit settling down, but this is my last connection right here, Chris.
Well, that's the perfect thing. Just when you think you're out,
they pull you back in. Well, that's okay. And this show wraps it up real well because, the BS crew's all on this show. This is a great little setup right here.
Oh my goodness, right?
Yeah, these people here, hands down the best. So.
Oh wait, Jim Fletcher says, is that how we pronounce it? Salisbury.
No, I asked him Salisbury. He told me up above.
Salisbury.
It's not Salisbury.
Okay, Salisbury.
It's Salisbury.
Listen, I'm willing to learn.
Hey, I'm a giver.
So, our guest tonight, one half of this duo. So, if you guys have missed this, we planned our invitational for the SmokeOut this year as a legacy invitational, sort of a nod to the SmokeOut of old. And we're going to get into this, but I wrote a history of the SmokeOut over the last couple of days. And I didn't realize, dude, until you sit down and start going through the timeline, how many things SmokeOut was responsible for.
Oh, yeah.
How many people's careers, how many anomalies that ended up everywhere all started at SmokeOut. We're going to get into that, but way early on in Shop Talk, he was one of our first guests. He was one of the first people to ever believe in us in everything that we did with Cycle Source. So let's hop on and check out Jeff Cochran and Clinton Wallace.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectral Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Jeff, what's up, man?
Hey, man, how you guys doing? Congratulations on the 200th episode.
Oh, right on, dude. Thank you so much. It's crazy though, right? Like I've said this to you before. We were young men once, and then like in a blink of an eye, poof.
What happened? Now, it happens. I don't know, man. It's almost like I was talking to somebody about this a couple weeks ago. Like I'm looking back on things that happened, and it's like it was almost like it wasn't me. Does that sound weird?
No.
I look back on like some serious accomplishments, and it's like, man, I don't even know how I did it. You know what I mean? It was just pretty good. It was fun.
I guess for you, we look back and think. We question how you've done so much. Dude, you've done everything. Oh. I kid around. I call you the Godfather because to me, you probably built more bikes than anybody out there ever. Your bikes are iconic. And I mean, probably one of my favorite people in the world. You know that between you and Beverly.
Well, that's nice. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it a lot.
I mean, it's just amazing what you've done, and then to be, and then on top of that, we get to blame you for a lot of stuff because Sucker Punch Sally
ruined our lives.
Yeah, Sucker Punch Sally threw a party that ruined our lives, and it's your fault, Jeff. So
it honestly I don't know how I did it either, dude. I was hungry. I was really hungry to have it, man. When so many people tell you can't, and then you just want to even harder.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what happened. Everybody said you can't, and it won't, and that won't work, and it just made me want to try harder. It worked out though. We're still doing it.
Yes, it did.
So let's take a minute. I want to start at the beginning of a lot of this for all of us because it was the beginning of Sucker Punch. It was the beginning of Cycle Source magazine. It was the beginning of the Horse magazine. It was the beginning of SmokeOut. Those times, that's another thing that, like, out of our memory banks, I'm not sure we appreciated what we were doing at that moment like we do now looking back on it.
No, yeah, I mean, I think I remember when we met, and I was kind of a fan of what you were doing, and I don't know if you remember our conversation.
Absolutely.
Dude, I was behind you from the beginning. I could tell. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and if somebody's got it, or they're just kind of bullshitting me through it, And I could tell you wasn't. You were hungry, and you wanted it, and I knew it was going to happen. It just, you earned it. You earned all of it. This is a lot of hard work. I know it was, brother.
It was funny, Mark, that the first time that we met, and I think you were there too. We were all in the bar at SmokeOut, and Flip was doing his deal off the bar, and Lead Sled and the whole. We were all stupid, drunk, and crazy. And Jeff just like, you know, comes off to the side and he goes, "Hey man, really digging what you're doing." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, because seriously, at the time, we were lucky that we were doing it. You know, nobody was more surprised month to month that there was another issue of the magazine that, you know, they were letting us. We were starting to get press passes to like some really important shit.
I think one of the best parts was whenever people that asked us not to come the year before had to give us a pass the next year. That was one of my favorite things.
But Jeff, what?
You earned it. I mean, you guys earned it. I mean, you still earn it daily. You guys are the hardest working in the business. I can tell. You know what I mean? It's obvious. You know, it's your Sunday night. Look, you've been hustling all day, and you're still hustling, dude. It's the way it goes. You have to succeed. You know?
Well, you know, it's nice now. Like the past 8-9 years, we can blame it on Heather.
Yep. Yep.
How do you blame it on me?
Well,
you're an overachiever
because it's your fault.
Yeah, no, you're an overachiever.
You came in, you were enthusiastic. You were like, "Oh, this is great." We were like, "Oh, we hope you die." You know, like it was great.
Yeah.
We were just ready to quit.
That's all a bunch of lies. Lying is a sin.
Oh, I've said,
lie.
A lie or no lie. I mean, in all reality, when you came around, it was sort of a blessing in disguise because not only had we known you for years, but to know that you knew what you were stepping into and yet you still did was like, you're an idiot. But, so,
wait
you
a
know,
minute.
we couldn't.
I will, till the day I die, I will swear that the warning label was not big enough. It was smudged. It was like illegible. And you, Mark, as my friend, failed me because you didn't tell me to run.
Christ's sake, a few years earlier than that, you threw us off the Broken Spoke lot for lighting the place on fire. You knew what you were getting into.
Through the entire bunch of us. Well, listen, let's go back to Jeff. What I want to talk about, man, was talk about those first couple smokeouts for you guys rolling in there and how things went, because I've heard from different people, you know, people that were involved in the organization of SmokeOut and the horse, but talk about those early days at SmokeOut.
Well, the early days was I was at the SmokeOut, you know, way before the Sucker Punch Valley thing. I was there on the January chopper that was actually featured there, you know, in the horse. I went, and I went with my brother-in-law. We had a really good time, and it was just like, man, this is what we're talking about. It was the first event that was so many like-minded people in the same, you know, in the same atmosphere, that it was kind of a great environment, you know, that I was really digging. So with the Sucker Punch thing, as soon as it exploded and took off, obviously, you know, that was the place we had to represent strong, and it was always, you know, they always took really good care of us, and we had a good time and a nice presentation while we were there, and established a lot of good friendships, a lot of good people. You know, it was just always kind of a positive event. And then afterwards, you know, you can stand in the parking lot at the Holiday Inn Express and just people destroying everything, and you know, everybody's belligerent, just nobody going to jail. No, you know what I mean? It was like, now things like that really don't happen, you know, at events where it's all, and if it does, it would get probably get so out of control that, you know, people would die at it.
Yeah.
But back then it was just they were just having their own, you know, having fun and doing their own thing and kind of enjoying it. And they were just, you know, everybody had the same excitement, you know, but now it's a little different than it was then. I think actually it's some of that excitement is coming back because you got a lot of new guys that are, you know, they're hungry and they're excited about it, you know. So I think the SmokeOut, it's going to be a lot different than it used to be, but I think it's going to be a really good event for you guys. Congratulations on, you know, being a big part of it, and I'm glad you invited me in on it. You know?
No, and you know, that was a big thing, like for us when we set down the goal of what we were going to do, what our mission statement was. The reason for rolling it back was there are so many, you know, next generation, like we were the next generation then, but there's so many next generation guys and girls coming into this now. And when you hear some of them, like while I was writing the history of the SmokeOut, I in part of it, I said, you know, I felt compelled to write this because I was at a chopper event and heard two younger chopper people saying, hey, what is this SmokeOut thing? And I'm like, man, for something that was responsible for so much of this culture. Like, and dude, you know, not to take anything away from what each one of you guys individually brought to this too, because the January chopper that you're talking about, that bike set a tone that literally for the next 2 decades would resonate in parts and pieces, up to bikes that I just saw come off the table for TMMR this year. You know what I mean? That was a place in time that just like, man, everything caught fire.
Dude, it was, like I said, it was almost, looking back on it, it was almost, it's weird that it happened. Everything lined up and it just worked. At that time, you remember, you know, what was happening with the bike scene. I mean, you were watching, you know, the shows and everything there was things going on, and I had just always dug the same bike, and I still do. I'm still narrow-minded and biased, you know what I mean, to what I enjoy and what I like to build or what I like to, you know, to ride. I've tried, you know, other stuff. I always go back, you know, kind of to the same recipe that I really enjoy, and fortunately, a lot of people enjoy it also. So, but yeah, it's hard to believe that, you know, 22 years ago, you know, that bike was popular, and it'd still be popular today. You know, that's a nice bike.
Well, sort of in a sense, then, you know, back like you're saying, 22 years ago, you almost created an iconic build. You know what I mean? Like, you know, certain people have their direction in their builds, and you know, that was your platform that. Yeah, dude, if nothing else, you freaking knocked that out of the park, and you still do today. And one of the greatest things about you is, you know, we just talked the other day, and you were saying something about messing with one of your bikes that you built years ago, and that every bike that you built years ago, these people still ride them. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably one of the greatest things of the top guys in this field, that, like, their bikes, not only are they killer for 20-some years, but these people still ride them. They're still, you know, really nice pieces of machinery. So there's a lot of them still on the road, and a lot of my, you know, my customer base is a repeat customer base. You know what I mean? I learned early, if you do what makes you happy and you treat people good and you're fair, you know, they honestly really respect it, because in the world we live in right now, it's hard to get an honest answer from a lot of things. Not the motorcycle world, but everything. You know what I mean? Everything you deal with now is kind of an illusion almost. It's like the smoke and mirrors factor is really pretty heavy in our world right now, you know. But back then, I established relationships at the early SmokeOut that I still have today, that, you know, were good people, you know what I mean? Just like-minded people that enjoy the process of the bike, and, you know, they still respect it.
Yeah, buddy. Well, and that's, you know, when Mark was saying at the beginning of the show that you and Sucker Punch Sally's were responsible for ruining our lives. That was, what was the name of that place? The Poison Room?
Oh,
yeah.
Is that what it was?
God. Yeah, we would do that. We would do that because, you know, we were that Cincinnati show, and then, you know, everybody was in town from out of town, so we would kind of put on a party and let everybody eat and drink for free for, you know, X amount of hours or whatever. But that was an expensive venture, you know, but we had it back then, and it was, you know, it was fun. It was nice that, you know, nice that we were able to do it and everybody enjoyed it. But
well, we all enjoyed it.
That's the fun part. If you do succeed at it, I enjoy a lot of times, you know, or I'll see a young guy that I think is, you know, making it happen, or he's hungry, you know, and I'll do everything I can to kind of kick it out there and give him something back too. And that's kind of what we were doing there. I think it's kind of just, you know, getting everybody together and getting everybody on the same page. Sometimes it's, you know, people get confused that you know, it's a big competition of some sort, you know, with building bikes and stuff. And it's really not, man. There's so many people that do so many cool things. You can't do them all, and you ain't that great at all of them. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to respect, even if it's a bike you don't dig, if it's a, you know, a bagger, or if it's like I said, if it's something you don't dig, man, that cat, he spent a lot of hours, and you know what I mean? You got to respect the man that's hungry and works hard to achieve what his goal is or what he wants to see, you know. But I think we kind of, if you kind of stick to that mode, you're a lot better off in this life.
And that's one of the nice things is that, you know, in a sense, you almost hate to say it, it is a bit of a brotherhood, but you find the craftsmanship in everybody's work. You know what I mean? Like, not specific. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some, man. I mean, you guys know. I mean, look at some of the younger guys that, you know, nobody's heard of. There's some cat in his garage that he knows more shit than all of us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But the dude is out there. You're not the only dude. You know what I mean? You got to learn to. You got to show a little respect. There's some dudes out there that know, you know, whether it's metalworking or whether it's engine work or
Right.
whether it's just machining. You know what I mean?
I think that's
he
one of
didn't
your
just luck into that craft. He earned it. You know what I mean?
And I think that's like we had said before, like if you think you're the best by chance, you're not even close. There's so many.
Yeah, dude. There's so many dudes out there that, you know, do so much cool stuff.
Right.
And my bikes, I didn't really, you know, as a kid, I didn't have I didn't have an idol. I was more. David Mann is the only thing that I really thought was like, God, those are like the coolest bikes in the world.
Right.
You know, and that was like my only real influence. You know, that and my father. You know, my father, he liked that David Mann kind of look also. So I really, my only influence was really like my father and the motorcycles and David Mann posters that my father would give me out of his magazine. You know, so.
You know that
you can see where it comes from.
Well, it worked. I can tell you that.
That thing that
it works, and like I said, I'm kind of old now, and I still do the same thing, and it still works and I still love it. I still enjoy it, man. You know, every time you get to that certain zone on a bike where, you know, it's just like everything starts to make sense, and you're just grateful that this is what you do. I've learned, you know, over the decades of it that I don't do anything I don't want to do anymore.
Right.
You know, I just don't. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm just not going to do it. And it's not that, you know, I get a lot of requests for, you know, this or that or I'm biking. It's not that it's not that I don't like your idea. It's just that I don't think I would have fun doing it. So it would be best for somebody that might enjoy doing it, you know, other than me.
Yeah. And I think it's cool, the roundedness, because, I mean, we kid around all the time if, you know, it's not bikes you're building, dude. You're an amazing musician. Your guitar playing is off the charts. I mean, you have a great rounded Beverly. Your wife Beverly, you know, she's one of my favorite people on the planet.
Me too.
Yeah,
He
right.
is my
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
He's just saying that so that those sandwiches are always along for the ride.
Dude, can we tell the story of me and Jeff will go to events and stuff, and like, dude, Beverly is so great. She'll pack us a lunch, and then there'll be little notes on everything she makes, and like, it's so freaking cool. Like
remember, I just rented that picture the other day. Remember where she drew you on the bag? It was like a picture of me and then a picture of you on your separate bags. It actually kind of looked like you, dude. I'll pull that picture up and send it to Chris so you can post it.
Yeah, it was funny because it, like, she makes you like chili and then a sandwich and then there's snacks, and like, it's so cool. But like, you're rounded wise, I mean, like you said, you don't do things you don't want to do anymore. And I guess when you get to a certain stage, you get to that point. But, you know, you've chosen, and even with the group, even with the person that you've picked to follow you in through, you know, this SmokeOut thing that we're getting into, like, you fine tune everything that you do, and you do a really good job at it. So,
dude, Clinton is the obvious choice. I mean, you and I we spent a great deal of time with Clinton. We stayed at his home. We've shared a lot of meals. We've traveled. I mean, it's just the obvious choice. He's so like-minded like us. I mean, he's so far away from us, but he's so on the same page that we are, that it's obvious that who I would want by my side, whether it be building motorcycles or digging the fence line. You know what I mean? He's the one I would kind of choose. You know what I'm saying?
I hope he's not listening, because his head's going to get really big.
Let me set the stage for that for 1 second. So, for those of you that don't know, what we did with the Legacy Invitational this year was we invited a group of SmokeOut OG builders. So the original gangsters from SmokeOut, you know, a lot of names from the back in the day: Billy Lane, Paul Cox, Steve Broyles, Bill Dodge, Jeff Cochran. There's I believe 7 OGs that we invited. In addition to that, we asked each one of the original builders to make a legacy invitation. So this would be somebody that was new to SmokeOut or new to building. So Jeff already let the cat out of the bag here that his invitation for this was Mr. Clinton.Wallace, another one of our favorite builders out of Texas. Let's bring Clinton in here too and get him into this conversation. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, fellas?
Good. Let me there we go. Now I got both of you guys.
It's a twofer. Dude, when I see your faces right now, I can think of his Landry's.
It always comes back to food.
Right?
You're such a fat kid.
I know, isn't it great?
Dude,
So, Clinton, SmokeOut. First of all, you've never been to SmokeOut. You know, Jeff, I've written articles about amazing motorcycles that you've built, and honestly, since I very first met you years and years ago, when we started coming down to Lone Star Rally, you've always been, you know, one of my favorite. You're one of us, and immediately,
Yes.
you know, right into the group with all the horse shit that we do.
The king of the long bike that
The
shocked
king
us.
of the long bike. Yep.
That shocked us and built one of the coolest short bikes around. So
Yep. And so you get the nod. I know Jeff has been one of your favorite builders throughout your time and an inspiration to you. But then this SmokeOut Legacy Invitational thing comes up, and you get the opportunity to come in as Jeff's invitation.
Man, to say I'm overwhelmed is an understatement, because, you know, I can remember back when the early years y'all were talking about the SmokeOut going on. You know, of course, we didn't have the internet going quite like it is now and stuff, so you didn't have the Facebook and the Instagram and all that to follow along. You know, so basically I was following along just with y'all's issues of the magazine. And, you know, every year, you know, come up and I'd want to go and stuff. And of course, I just worked all the time. Never really took any time off for anything. So I just kind of looked at the magazine, wanted to do it. Of course, I followed Jeff way back then and stuff. And, you know, he was probably one of the first builders that I even looked at that even gave me the thought of, you know, man, to build something like that would be awesome. But I wanted the opportunity to go just so I could see some of his bikes and stuff.
Right.
Because at that time where we're at over here in Texas, you know, a lot of the big builders like that, there wasn't nothing for them over here. You know, there was a lot of other events that were going to Sturgis, you know, all the big rallies and stuff, but there was nothing here. So we didn't get the opportunity locally to see that kind of stuff. So I wanted just to go see it, but just never had the opportunity. And here we are down the road. And to first off, to even be considered for this, for me, it's just a huge thing, you know, I mean, and, you know, just the fact that it come from Jeff is, I don't like to say it. It's just, I'm speechless about that. I mean, you know,
you earned it, dude. You definitely. Yeah.
I hear you. I mean,
You earned it.
I
You earned it so many different ways, dude. You're like just top shelf shit, dude. That's it. You know,
do
you are.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you earned it.
You know, and I think something that makes a difference for me too is, like I was saying earlier, like long bike. We always used to kid around. Clinton's front tire would show up like 40 minutes before he did. So, you know, it was always like, and they were always super cool bikes. Like Gold Dust was like one of the most amazing bikes. And then
Hippie Chick was
yeah,
my
Hippie
favorite.
Chick. And then, you know, I can't remember if it was Texas where we were actually picking on Jeff, the dude, you need to build a long bike, because he was the only short bike in the parking lot that night. And
I know, man. You guys were getting to the restaurant way before I was.
yeah, right. And Clinton said in that parking lot, dude, screw it, I'm gonna do a short bike this time. And he did. And what you brought to the table was off the charts. So to me, you know, and it, even like I was saying with Jeff, you know, you pick your direction and you master your direction. Obviously, you know, you have more than one direction. And I said this little bike you put up here, Chris has on the screen right now, just one of my favorites, hands down.
Dude, that thing's bad.
Yes, it is.
And that picture does not do it justice,
No.
even a little bit.
Well,
No, that's a nice bike.
yeah, but
No.
see, this is what we're talking about. When you look at the rest of Clinton's motorcycles, gee, that bike right there in that picture is sitting in two different zip codes.
That's a centerfold from Playboy right there. And then, of course, you know, like we were saying, No, you pick your people.
Dude, I remember when you sent me that picture. Like,
Dude, well, look, I remember that day so clearly because I remember, I'd ordered the front end, and I knew what I was getting. But, again, I had never actually seen firsthand a 40-wheel front end. So all I remember is coming home from work, pulling up to the house, and I see this huge box laying in front of my front door. And I'm like, man, what is that? I didn't order nothing like that, and get over there. And my wife comes up to me. She's like, well, maybe that's your front end. I said, no, there's no way. I'm like, this thing stretches across half the porch. And we opened that thing up. And when I seen it, that's the first thing I just told her. I looked at her and I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't know what I've done here.
You should have actually let Bobby hold that up and take a picture of it.
Look, I remember we went out there, and of course, I had already, done my calculations. So while I was waiting on the front end, I'd already modified the frame and everything. So of course, me, like I said, I was just keeping my fingers crossed that my math added up. So I remember I was like, I need to get in the shop and bolt this thing up and see, what happens. And all I remember is at that time, I'm working in my little covered garage, basically, and my lift sat in the middle of it. And all I remember is the bike's on the lift. I bolt the front end up, and all I remember was the front tire was hanging out of the shop. I didn't know what to say at that time.
The front tire was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Chris,
Then I was like, now I got to take it off because I can't close the shop up.
Chris, I just dropped you a link
yeah.
in our chat. You have to bring that picture up because it's when Clinton passed Gold Dust Woman on to its current caretaker.
Okay.
And how he had to transport it.
Oh my God.
I remember this picture. Yeah.
Oh my God! Like,
that's fantastic.
Can you? I don't know what your abilities are.
Dude,
but
that poor kid when he bought the bike, and stuff, and he's up in y'all's neck of the woods somewhere. I don't know if it's Minnesota or something, but his dad actually lived in Dallas, so they wanted me to. He was going to come pick it up. So his dad calls me and said, "Hey, do I need to bring a trailer?" I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "The bike's 12 feet long." I'm like, "I have a trailer." And he was like, "Oh no." He said, "I'm a truck driver, man. I'm not too worried about it." He said, "I can strap it down." I'm like, "Man, look, once you pay me for it, it's your bike.
You can do whatever you want with it, right?"
And he shows up when I still remember when he pulled in the driveway and that extension ladder was in the back of the truck. I was speechless. I was like, "Hey, this guy's really gonna do this."
Dude, every time I see that picture, the cartoon of the El Camino with the big long bike in it with the tire on the hood, I think you and Bobby, with her with that El Camino and you with those long bikes, cracks me up.
How did he load it?
Very carefully, apparently.
We literally, I mean, he was a pretty big guy. So between the two of us, we literally just kind of picked it up, kind of set it, had the ladder kind of angled down off the tailgate, got the bike up on the ladder, and he held it, and I picked up the ladder and slid it in the back of the truck. And
Clint was like, "Wait a minute, let me make sure this check clears before you leave."
Yeah, Bobby kept acting. She's like, you're not gonna let him do that. I said, Bobby, he's been paid for it. It's his bike. He can carry it on the top of the truck. I took them pictures. I took those pictures, and as he was driving out the driveway, I texted him to his son, and his son immediately called me. He's like, "Tell me you're joking." I'm like, "Oh no!" I said, "It's on its way to Dallas right now. It's going on a 5-hour trip up there. I don't know. You might want to call him. I don't know."
Did you take out the insurance? That's what you should have said.
He was so sick. He said for the next 5 hours, he kept calling his dad like every 15, 20 minutes. Is the bike still there? Is the bike still there?
So Jack shit said that's some hillbilly shit right there.
Yep.
And just for information, Clinton, Minnesota is as close to me as you are.
Yeah, just to let you know.
I have no idea. Look, y'all are up north. That's all I know.
You just pulled. Did you really just pull the Yankee card on us?
God.
Did you do that shit right here on a national program?
Live. You went all racist live right there is what you just did. Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
See what you brought us, Jeff? Do you see what you've done?
Leave him alone.
Bobby, if you can get close to him, smack Clint in the back of the head.
Yeah, she gets it too. I mean, she's from Oregon, she's a northerner. She gets that all the time.
Hit us with the Yankee shot.
Oh,
right?
that's
Look,
good.
Just like that, we got the
Sooner
Yankee
or later,
shot.
I'm gonna beat y'all into moving to Texas. See?
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm working on.
I'm ready.
That's what's
I
up.
am ready right
I
now.
like Texas. I do like Texas. We always have fun there.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
man. Yes, sir.
For some strange reason, we have fun anywhere we ever go, but Texas is a lot of fun.
That's a good time. That is a good time. And we remember we stayed at your house, Clinton. How fun that was. We had a good time.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I'm telling you, that was a good time.
I still want to come down for the mini horses and cows.
Hey, wait a
Man,
minute.
Mark, I'm telling you,
Make
I got
sure
the
you bring
cows
Mr.
out
Smalls.
right now. You need to come.
Listen, this is what I love about the fact that we're 200 episodes in and we have so many fans of the show that watch this stuff religiously. They're comfortable enough. Jim Fletcher just said, "Chris, go to commercial. My glass is empty and my bottle's in the garage. I don't want to miss this." Like, sure, Jim. That's great.
Funny.
So, part of this, man, talking about the back in the days of SmokeOut and trying to bring some of this stuff back. Like I was telling Jeff Clinton, there is a new generation, and you're at a lot of the chopper events around the country, and especially in Texas. There's a bunch of rowdy young chopper hooligans there, and there is another generation coming in, and they're doing shit like racing choppers in the dirt and raising hell and partying all night long. And I think the fact that the generation before us has still been in charge of running the rallies and running all of these shows, I think it's evolved with them. But it doesn't necessarily, like the thing that was always great about the SmokeOut was that it was kind of raw. It was a little bit dangerous, a little bit dirty, And I think that's part of bringing that back is going to be good for this culture again.
And I'll tell you another big thing about the SmokeOut. For some strange reason, every ride to the SmokeOut was as much of an adventure as the actual SmokeOut was. The stories from the rides there. The rides home are always painful, but the rides there were like epic. Yes, SmokeOut's definitely if you haven't done it, you gotta come and see it. You have to. It's unique.
I think one of the greatest things that I'm hearing as people are, first of all, the fact that our people, as Chris and I have been out and about recently, coming up and thanking us for bringing SmokeOut back, that's just been flabbergasting.
Yeah.
But one of the coolest things has been, a father and a son, I heard my dad tell me all these stories about SmokeOut. Now I get to go with him.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That we're going to have a few generations able to come to this. I think that's a really, really neat thing. It's pretty big shoes to fill though. Kind of nervous, just saying.
Well, I think another a good thing that's going to happen out of this is like, even to bring back to, pay homage to people like Jeff and to Bill Dodge and to, all of these iconic builders, Billy Lane, and for them to bring their person in, not necessarily to take the reins off of them, but, to bring them in. I think that's going to be the new cool element about the SmokeOut that was never there before. The SmokeOut was always just like a free-for-all. Now there's going to be a little museum of what made the SmokeOut what it is.
Honestly though, like one of the cool things I think that might have been overlooked for that time, SmokeOut was always a place like it's hard to come up with a good term, but like a free form exchange of ideas.
Right.
Like people used to just show up and everybody was building something. Everybody was working on stuff. People were giving each other ideas back and forth. Like it wasn't like a lot of shit for the last little amount of time that you saw people showing up to try to outdo one another.
Right.
As much as it was, like Jeff said, about like-minded individuals and people that were celebrating that thing,
Dude, yeah, I mean, at the SmokeOut, there was tons of, back then in the day, tons of Hondas and Yamahas and old Suzukis and diesel. I mean, you would see everything just because, this cat, he worked in his garage all year so he could ride it to the SmokeOut. You know what I mean? Like I said, it got a little lost when it went, other routes and, in the big events and the bigger events when it's kind of, like you said, it's more of a competition. And back then it didn't really ever seem like, I don't remember ever competing. It was just like everybody was kind of just, striving and having fun and doing what they were, you know what I mean? They were kind of doing it for themselves. And if you don't watch out, you'll get caught up in doing something for somebody else instead of really kind of making yourself happy. And you could tell a lot of these cats were just making themselves really happy, doing some cool shit. You know?
Now it occurs to me, Clinton, motorcycles and everything aside, there may be another reason why you and Jeff are akin to each other. So for people that haven't been to Clinton's house, there's like 593 dogs,
animals, not just dogs,
that claim residence at Clinton's house.
They come and go,
and even some that are the neighbors. Apparently,
and this weekend on my trip to my dad's to go check in, she was trying to take another one home from there. And I went, are you kidding me?
Good girl, Bobby. Good girl.
Yeah, you just let her keep bringing them home. That's a comfortable little house you got right there.
Oh, dude, look, they run shit there, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's no joke. They're running it.
Yeah.
They're running shit.
I think that's the dog the night I was there.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I think there was a dog in bed with me when the night I spent the night.
Oh, yeah, I promise you there was.
Yeah, there was two in there with me and Dana. So, yeah, I know.
The big hound dog has learned how to open doors now. So there's days where I come home from work, and if one of us forget to lock a door, he's in here. I'm on his own. He just opens the door and comes on in.
Well, so obviously I had mentioned before, you guys got many cows and many horses, right?
Right.
So apparently, from what I can remember, you guys had.
Wait a minute, you got a mini horse?
We had.
Yeah.
We had. You don't currently.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, hold on.
You apparently had one little cow that didn't like to stick around, used to escape all the time, and used to bitch about having to go chase that poor little bastard.
Sue.
Yeah, Curly Sue is no longer with us.
I was worried you guys, since it's a mini cow, I was worried you guys had a mini barbecue, but you set my mind straight. You didn't do that.
That was gonna be an option. I was looking forward to seeing a mini. We'd
have been looking forward to seeing the black eye Bobby gave you from bringing that up too.
Well, and that's what happened. So we had it planned out. I was fixing to do that, and then she come home and said she had somebody that was wanting to buy her, and I was like, well, it's always better to make a little money to spend it. So I was like, sell it. She's somebody else's problem now.
Clinton, I got to your Instagram page here so I could talk about the fact that, as far as, for being a non-professional builder, the amount of magazine coverage that you've got and shows that you've been to, like, I think we're beyond the point where you can say that you're you at least have to cop to semi-professional now.
Can we call him little big time?
But incredible bikes. I put a link up so people can check out more of your stuff there. And
no, I like I said, that's been just so humbling, like I said, because my whole thing was it's kind of like what Jeff said, there's tons of talented people all over the place. Just there's so many people that, they either they don't get out or they just don't have the opportunity to get seen or whatever. But for me, I've never had, a lot of people, they get out, win a few shows or whatever, and that's their thing. They want to become a builder, they want to get known or something, and stuff and all that. I've never had that desire for me. I just enjoy the process of building bikes and stuff. And it kind of began with the fact of, like I said, like following Jeff's bikes and stuff. I mean, back then I'd have loved to have had one of Jeff's bikes, but for me, I just never had the extra money to go spend on something like that, so for me it was okay. How can I get something like that? And it basically was me. I'd have to build it myself. So, it was one of those things. Just kind of started slowly teaching myself to do it, and to look now and like I said, the magazine coverage, and then like I said, getting notoriety from somebody like Jeff and Bill Dodge and them guys is just, like I said, I don't even know how to respond to that most times.
How did you meet Jeff for the first time? Where'd you meet Jeff first time?
I think it was I've seen Jeff obviously, when I started going to Daytona a lot and stuff like that, but I don't think I ever really approached Jeff because I've never been one of these people that oh, there's somebody that I consider famous, I got to go run and talk to him or take a picture of, because I've always tried to respect those people, that I know that shit's got to get tiring, I know that's part of what they do, when you get to those levels, but I think the first time I actually talked to Jeff was in Galveston at the rally over there.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah, well, he's so unapproachable, though, you know?
Pretty
You
approachable.
stop that. Jeff is such a good conversation. We had we sat with him for hours at TMMR. Like
Yep.
they were supposed to go do something with the builders and like
We ended up-
stage.
we
Yeah,
ended up
nope,
just-
never happened. We just had the greatest conversation. He's such a pleasure to talk to.
I think that's what I enjoy the most about it is like that is Jeff's one of those guys that, you know, obviously a lot of people think, well, you're going to go talk to Jeff about bikes and stuff like that. But most of the time we don't even talk about bikes a lot of times, you know, and stuff like that.
Most
we all
people
sit down.
Most people don't want to know what we talk about. So
Right.
So Clinton, what do you bring to SmokeOut this year? Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff.
I said usually it's food, man. We do a lot of food.
Yes,
None
we
of
do.
us really,
Yeah.
None of us party, so it's like our party is like, man, let's get some good food.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Chris
where
is
are we
always
going?
like, where the hell those guys go when he already knows?
Yep. To the restaurant. There I am with a damn convenience store burrito. Oh man, well listen, it's awesome to have both of you guys on with this. Like, you know, you were the first pair of builders that we announced for this whole thing, and it's absolutely my honor to do that. You know, on behalf of the fact that you're two of the people that represent the best of the culture because of your approach to all of it. You know what I mean? Like, neither one of you ever too busy to talk to someone. You never get tired of doing this shit. You never run out of inspiration for doing what you're doing and sharing it with other people. So love having you on with SmokeOut. I do want to, someone real quick up here reminded me, Brandy and Dozer and Shade Tree, we broke the Guinness World Record for the longest chopper and displayed it at SmokeOut 2003 and 2004. So
I was there. Yeah,
this
hey,
was...
those are good people, man. They're really good people.
And
Yeah,
listen...
those are good. Those are two really good people from the SmokeOut era that, you know, like I said, when I mentioned that you meet people from then, I mean, that was 20 years ago, and you only see them once every couple of years or once every 5 years. And they're just, I mean, you can, like I said, I'm a good judge of character. Those are good people, man. They're really good. They're solid, good people.
And that was some of the stuff I was talking about at the beginning of the show when we said you don't realize until you start doing a timeline. Like, that Guinness Book of World Records, that was set at SmokeOut. They're quite likely, and I'm going to say this officially, quite likely wouldn't have been a biker build-off series if it wasn't for SmokeOut.
Right.
Because the first one, you know, they approached Billy and it was going to be a one-off kind of thing, and he said, yeah, look, only if we can do it at SmokeOut. And because of the hoopla that was around that, I mean, that thing went on for the next decade of crazy, crazy success. There was, you know, the mini bike races with the costumes, the flamin' mini bike jumps, the flamin' burnouts, like so many of those things, even down to, like, how stupid is this? Poker chips.
Yep.
I think Edge was the first person to have a motorcycle branded poker chip, and now they're in every single Harley dealership you ever go to.
Yeah, a lot of stuff stemmed from it.
Edge. Is Ed still a part of this too?
He is. He's our consultant, and he's, you know, we turn to Edge probably more times in a week than he's comfortable with.
He's another one, dude. I mean, Edge is a stand-up guy, man. He's a fun person to just talk to and you know, get information. He's a good dude, man. His life outlook is really good. He's a good guy.
So, Jeff, we also have, we're going to put the link up for your Instagram page as well, so people can follow along. People are asking about which bikes you both are bringing to SmokeOut, but I think we're just going to let that part of all of this be a surprise. You guys can check all of Jeff's work out at speedkingphoto.com. I'm going to put that link up. That's a great place to get those products. Keep up on his builds. There you go.
Yeah, the website store does really well, and a lot of times too, I stay so busy that if just because you see it out of stock on the store, I mean, if it's something you really need or you're that point in your build, shoot me a message or an email. There's a good chance I may still have it, or I can make you one up real quick. I'll just, if I get so busy, sometimes I pull some of those items because I don't really have time to ship them. but that don't mean I won't make one for you or I don't have it here already. You know.
Right on, man. Well, listen, thank you guys. Thank both of you for taking the time tonight and for signing on to this whole thing to see if we can jumpstart the SmokeOut rally.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate it, man, and congratulations on the 200th episode. And, man, I really appreciate you having us on, man. It's always a good time, and you guys are all, you know, you're top shelf in my book, every one of you, man. And Clinton, it's good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. So,
You too, man.
I love that handsome hair, man. That's a good looking.
Did you do the comparison picture of him and Jeff?
Well, you know what? I wanted to talk about that. I didn't want to get off track too far, but
Let's
you know,
compare that.
We had back here. We had some Teen Wolf shit going on. I'm just saying.
Wow, you're so
I don't know if my man got a court date coming up or if he did this.
Oh, that's
Leave him
fantastic.
alone, man. Just leave him alone.
Oh, Clinton, you know I love you, man.
Yep.
Well, listen,
God.
I can't wait to see both of you guys. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes, it is.
Back in Salisbury, and let's raise some hell.
Yep.
Yeah, good to see you guys, man. You guys have a great evening. Mark, Heather, Chris, good to see you all.
You
have
too.
a good evening.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, guys, take it easy.
See y'all later.
See ya.
Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna be in trouble for that one.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's going to cost you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you might wake up. Clinton's going to give you one of his haircuts.
That's okay.
No, he's not.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll shave that beard in his sleep if he even thinks about it.
So we're talking
Sorry,
about
Rory.
SmokeOut tonight, old SmokeOut, the 200 episodes of Shop Talk here, and we're gonna take a real quick break and come back, watch some videos on people giving us the celebration salutations, and check out a feature bike. Don't go anywhere. We got more Shop Talk right around the corner.
Hi there. Michael Lichter here to congratulate Chris, Heather, and everyone involved with Shop Talk on the occasion of their 200th episode. This is an amazing feat. I travel all over the country and I see them everywhere I go. And I could say that they are the hardest working people in the business. And on that note, I want to say I'm looking forward to many more episodes for years to come with the great stories they tell, the interviews they bring, and everything they talk about. Thanks so much for what you do.
Yeah, baby. Brother Chris, Heather, Mark, anybody who's ever worked at Cycle Source, anybody who's ever been a part of a bike show, a rodeo, a rally, an event, myself included, I say, God, you're beautiful. No, actually, I say, Chris, Heather, 25 years, baby. 25 marvelous, wonderful, issue and problem-free years you've had. And I just want to say congratulations, that I love you guys. Can't wait to see you at the SmokeOut. I wish you guys 25 amazing, happy years more. Or, in this case, the first happy 25 years of the magazine. I love you guys, and congratulations, 25. That's epic, baby. That's epic. Quarter of a century of keeping it real. See you guys.
Whether riding takes you from A to B or just lets you escape, there's a flow to the road you share. So go with it. Eyes open, and always have the Law Tigers by your side. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, visit us at lawtigers.com. Law Tigers, America's motorcycle lawyers.
Proven performance is not some sort of empty slogan or marketing catchphrase. but a way of thinking, a mantra, and something we've practiced every day of the week for the last 6 decades. Designed, manufactured, and tested in the heartland of America. On and off the track, S&S Cycles is the first choice in power sports performance.
Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Joshua D. Bandetta. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. So I got a 1967 generator shovel that I handmade, a lot of one-off stuff, split coffin tanks, got into blacksmithing, made everything on it except for the frame and the front end. I'm still learning, building, learn how to manipulate metal and perfecting the craft. So I bought it from a gentleman that one of his relatives owned the motorcycle and he passed away. And it sat outside his yard for the past 8 years. And then I ended up getting a hold of it and just pretty much tore the whole thing down. And 3 or so months ago, I went to a local bike night and met a gentleman out there that does blacksmithing for a living. And I walked up to him, I saw a sissy bar, had the metal rose, and he actually made like this whole vine. I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, I'm Josh, we're friends." And that was it. So I started going to his shop and just being in his atmosphere, just absorbing all that creative energy, I grabbed some round stock in there and I made some dies and just started playing around with it. And then I told him, I was like, I'm gonna take it home and see if I can't use this. So I actually used to own a repair shop. Last November, I lost the building to it. So in that time frame, I had acquired this motorcycle and moved everything back home. This will be the second bike that I built. And I just really wanted to try to make as much as I could by hand. But yeah, I just did it out of a little 200 square foot garage, and it was like working in a hallway in there. Yeah, so I actually, after I met him, man, I started doing my own research, and I got a bunch of the fire brick, like what they use in fireplaces. So I built a gas forge, and I ended up getting a single pipe burner off of Amazon. It was like 15 bucks, and I tell you what, I got spoiled at his shop with the power hammer, because when I got home, I'm thinking, oh, this is easy stuff. I get home, no sir. I'm like 6 strikes in, I'm on a damn ventilator. It was brutal. And then it got so busy in the repair shop that I was getting into it. And then, man, I had no less than 40 bikes in the shop at all times. So, and I was a single business owner, so I was doing it all, wearing all the hats to the business. Kind of, poured a whole, my whole self into this. So this bike's got a piece of me in it, just like they all do. No, so I got a guy in Greenville, South Carolina. His name is Charlie Tire. And he was the only guy that in that short amount of time, I built this bike in 45 days. And Charlie was the only one that could paint the bike in that time frame. Actually, the bottom end was shot on the bike. And I know Pete and Jackie really well. They live like 10 minutes from my house. So I went down there and I was like, look, I got this bottom end. I need this done as fast as possible. Like, I know you guys are covered up. If you can do it, great. If not, I totally understand. But they were able to get it done. And I did about 3 weeks worth of fab work on this thing. I mean, I even made the handlebars on a little mini lathe, all the wheel spacers, and actually handmade the oil bag, and I split the oil bag. So the left side, it looks like one, but it's all where my battery and my electrical components are. And then I split the seat as well, so you can look down in it, and that's where the name Split Decisions for the bike came about. I tried to build a bike where the more you look at it, the more stuff you find, you know what I mean? It's not like a showstopper per se, when you see it, it's subtle, but the more you look at it, I think more, it grabs your eye a little bit more and more every time, especially with a 67 generator shovel. I mean, I love a traditional chopper, don't get me wrong. You guys see my orange Evo, that's a traditional chop, a little bit modernized, but with this one, I wanted to just do something that when I go to shows, you're not going to see this kind of a motorcycle. At the end of the day, I built it for me, and nobody's paying my bills. So if they like it, cool. If not, oh well. Everybody's got their things. So. Joshua D. Benedetto, Greenville, South Carolina, and I'm a Dennis Kirk garage builder.
Hey everyone, Kevin Baxter from Baxter's Garage and tech editor for Cycle Source Magazine. I wanted to congratulate Chris and Heather and the rest of the team at Cycle Source on their 200th episode of Shop Talk. That's quite an achievement, guys. I couldn't be more proud of you and also to be part of the team. Again, congratulations on your 200th episode and a lot more to come.
Adam Sandoval here, and just want to send a message over to Chris and the whole team from Cycle Source Magazine and congratulate them on over 200 episodes of Shop Talk podcast. I thought it only fitting that I'm sitting in a shop right now somewhere in West Virginia getting my bike fixed, and that Shop Talk podcast is a must watch. So thank you so much for having me on so many times, and congratulations on putting in 200 episodes. Woo.
Man, poor Adam is having a hell of a time with that bike, huh?
Having some issues, huh?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I saw his post and he was like, you know, I finally get the bike back up. He said, and I'm back down.
It's a shame he broke down in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Hey, he was close. He was close to here.
Right?
Yeah.
So 200 episodes.
Wow.
What's next for the next 200?
I want to get some more technology going here.
Oh,
like
boy.
I'm thinking.
Oh boy. Heather just slid off her chair.
I'm thinking some new equipment.
Mark, you and I can exit stage anytime.
Is the insurance paid? We're good.
No, but you know what, man? Think about that. Like here's the real deal about that. We have figured out a way to do the magazine work that we only do every 30 days. We figured out how to do that once a week. We've been able to bring people news, break news, share people's losses
he's just
with
buttering
them.
us up for something, Heather. You know
I'm
that,
just-
right?
Yeah, I know. We're going to pay for it later.
What were you
But
excited
on that
about?
note,
There you
every
go.
30 days, with the next issue, we're going back to 10 issues a year. No more every 2 months. Pretty great.
That's right. It is.
No,
it is.
I'm super happy about that.
Well, for so people that understand, like when we hit COVID, man, it was a real blow, as it was for so many people.
Grim.
Yeah. So I mean, that first month of COVID lockdown, we lost half of our distribution.
I know,
because the stores just closed.
As grim as that was, like we said before, look what came from that.
Yeah.
Though. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh,
In
yeah.
all reality, Shop Talk, the traveling mobile studio was produced.
Yep.
The cyber swap was put together. So many things fell into place so fast. And, like the cool part about it, obviously Heather and Chris are, I don't do shit. I show up on Sunday and make fun of everybody. So, and whatever needs done in between point A and point B. But like to watch, like I know Heather says it all the time, to watch Chris say he needs to do something and then watch him teach himself that to make it happen is like, dude, there's something mentally wrong with you. So you seriously need to get a grip.
Well,
But it's pretty cool, and that's 200 episodes, and every bit of that's on your back right there,
dude.
buddy.
And that was like, when I think about the timeline, honestly, I think about how many times, the show was crashing or like it was major problems because we had no idea what the hell we were doing with any of the technology behind it.
The cool part is like you see the screen right now where the three of us are on it. And then it'll go to a commercial. And if you'd see it or have seen some of the shit that happened and while that was off or the yelling up and down the 50
Are you kidding me? God damn it.
There was divorces. There was friend breakups. There was walkouts. It was.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's fantastic.
That was another thing,
The divorce was between Mark and Chris.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, notice I did plural divorces.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't just one.
Yeah,
it's it's cool, and I think we've said it a million times. Something about the three of us have been around each other so long, the chemistry just falls right out onto the table, and that's super cool. But You know, I mean, again, I got to give my props 200, you know, to Chris, and then for Heather to do what she's doing, because I literally show up here and turn the microphone on. So I do nothing.
Oh, it's good.
I do not
I have
do
learned
anything.
so much in the past couple of years, more than I ever thought I would. I've learned things that I had never even crossed my mind. But it's been super cool. Like it's
God
way
you
more
picked them
fun
up.
than I ever thought it would be. I'm trying, just so you know, I'm trying to find the 2 best videos that I think Chris has ever done, which were the 2 commercials for Cyber Rally. If you guys haven't seen those 2 commercials, I'm gonna find them and post links. It's the funniest.
Hey, listen,
videos he's ever made.
I just have to say this with the disclaimer that, like, yeah, I went there. COVID was rough. Like, when, you know, you go from being on the road like around the clock and seeing all your friends all the time, and then you're locked in your house effectively. I needed some shit to do. You know, and the fact that I kept it from going to a destructive place was enough.
Two of my
You were so
look, somebody
far
said
from
it,
destructive.
Tiger King.
Yeah, right.
You painted 5 paintings
Yep.
simultaneously in our living room in a week.
While building a
And
bike.
they're beautiful.
Yeah, while building a bike.
I don't do well with idle time, man. Like, it just.
Yeah, 2 of my favorite commercials probably would be, obviously, the one of you and my dad at the garage.
Yeah.
And the other one was Clinton and Bobby with the jeans.
Yeah,
the one you did
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that was a really
two
good
of my
commercial.
2 of my favorite commercials. Still, I play the one of my father all the time just to hear his voice.
We did a commercial with Mark's dad, and Mark's dad was a lot like my dad. You know, I mean, like, growing up and learning about business and the world.
He yelled
and
at him as
everything.
much as he yelled at me, so which was great.
But we got him, like, we used to put him through so much bullshit, dude.
Remember the Christmas
card? One year we did a Christmas card where we convinced him to be Santa Claus, and he was like, "Oh, okay, what do I got to do?" We said, "Well,
Ton
here,
of fun.
put these pants on." He's like, "Don't I need the coat?" And we're like, "No, we're gonna be robbing you, so we need you to sit down here on this stool. And we're gonna tie your hands behind your back and put him."
Poor Tony.
Yeah, I held a gun to his head. Yeah, it was good shit.
Oh, poor Hey, just so you know, Nancy says I need my own sound effects for the next 200
Oh,
episodes,
boy.
and I completely agree.
Loser.
Nancy, you're brilliant. Brilliant. I'm just saying.
All right, well, listen, man, we have we're like going way over tonight, but we have
We didn't do news. We
I
didn't
know.
do anything.
I know. We got a quick tech tip that we're going to go to from S&S. And
I do think there's a couple new pieces that we have to touch on because they're
Okay.
they're like SmokeOut related. And,
well, hell,
you know.
then let's break right
I'm
here,
sorry.
and we'll do a little thing we like to call the news.
The ShopTalk World Report is brought to you
How
by
you
Law
like that?
Tigers. Get the
I'm running
compensation you
this-
deserve.
I'm running
and
this
get back
piece.
on the road with Law
I'm running this piece.
I'll do this how I want to.
So first up in the news tonight, and this from our own Cycle Source magazine World Report, CycleSource.com, powered by Dennis Kirk. SmokeOut Rally teams up with Dennis Kirk. The original chopper party is set to do big things with a new title sponsor in 22. That's right, baby. With 2 decades under its belt, the SmokeOut Rally has become synonymous with garage builders and the custom motorcycle culture. At the same time, national parts distributor Dennis Kirk has gone far and above to provide support to the very same culture through their GarageBuild.com, garage build bike shows, and community-based efforts. It makes perfect sense that these 2 entities would come together for the SmokeOut Rally's triumphant return to Salisbury, North Carolina, September 8th, 9th, and 10th in 2022. We cannot say enough thank yous to Dennis Kirk for, like, what their support means for this is that we get to come back in a strong way rather than build this thing up over the next few years. We need to come. We're going to come out of the gate swinging, and it's because of their support.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just such a pleasure to work with anyway. Like,
Yep.
they are not the big, like, super conglomerate that you would think Dennis Kirk is. They are down to earth, working class people just like us, and they're a joy to work with. And I'm so happy that we've teamed up with, or they've teamed up with us.
Yep. So the other SmokeOut news that we have for tonight is another round of thank yous. This one goes out to Law Tigers for Legends and Legacies. Everyone knows that Law Tiger's a firm you can count on when things go wrong, but in the custom motorcycle culture, they're frequently found lending a hand to ensure that things go right. This year, that plays out with SmokeOut Rally in Salisbury, North Carolina, September 8th through the 10th, where Law Tigers have signed on to provide the necessary resources to celebrate custom motorcycle builders of SmokeOut past and future. This is happening through a new installation at the rally dubbed the Legends Gallery. The gallery, in addition to the Tankful exhibit, the SmokeOut Hall of Fame, a Richie Pan Memorial exhibit, and the Motorcycle Art Extravaganza, will also be the home base of the Legacy Invitational Builders that we just spoke about. So big thanks out to Law Tigers for everything they're doing for us with that and SmokeOut. The lineup has been set for the High Seas Rally. Announcements out for the concerts, everything that's going on the ship, and more people.
Yeah, do you see the
all
people
the
they've
time.
got
Look
coming
at
on?
this. Look at this.
Dave and Jody and
Dave Nichols, Adam Sandoval, Paul and Susie Yaffe,
yeah,
Barbie
like,
the
it's-
Welder, Her
yeah,
Two Wheels.
Plus all the builders, Rick Bray and Tom Kiefer. Like, I'm so sad now.
Don't be sad. Don't be sad.
I'm sad.
Why
I'm
so sad?
now.
I'm sure Lone Star Rally is going to be a lot of fun too.
Whatever.
Oh, listen, Lone Star
I can't say
is
that.
a lot
I
of
absolutely
fun.
love Lone Star Rally. I'm actually, like, I'm really torn. Lone Star Rally is my absolute favorite way to close out the year.
It is.
Plus, I'll get to see Clinton and Bobby, and you won't.
So here's an honest piece of news for the evening. You guys, we were actually doing our pre-recorded shows for the last couple weeks, so we didn't get to talk about the fact that due to supply chain issues, Harley-Davidson closed 2 of their plants, both in York and in Menominee Falls. This just came out today through the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Harley-Davidson reopening local plant on Monday following shutdown due to supply chain issues, but in the small byline underneath the picture, it says the Harley-Davidson corporate office at 3700 West Juneau Avenue in Milwaukee on Thursday, July 9th, 2020. Harley-Davidson Incorporated says it's eliminating 700 jobs this year as part of its comprehensive effort to rebuild the company. Now, the picture is from 2020. Is that the statement from 2022? But in any event, they're resumed production at plants in Menominee and York, Pennsylvania on Monday after closing more than 2 weeks, according to the company. Harley suspended operation at its plants for 2 weeks out of an abundance of caution due to regulatory compliance with one of its suppliers. No idea what that means, but that's a hell of a...
I don't know. I sort of thought at one point you were doing a Muppets thing there whenever you said they were from Menominee.
Menominee.
What the hell's this guy talking about? Menominee.
Now, here comes the hate mail now. See?
Boy.
This is what happens. Isle of Man is in the news. I don't even want to talk. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
That one's sad. I was going to say, do you want to do the congratulations one? That one's happy.
Which one? Which one?
The one that says congratulations.
Oh, hello.
I didn't see congratulations.
I don't know what you people are talking about.
I don't have the news. What's the news?
Wow.
Did you say all the young dudes carry the news? Is that what you just said?
All I have left in the news is the Indian thing, the Carmichael. That's it.
It's number 3 on your news thing, right under Isle of Man.
Can you do the Menominee one again?
I missed it. I blew it.
Oh, God. This is why we can't have nice stuff right
Here,
here.
I'm going to give you the link.
Oh, my goodness.
And
200 episodes.
And
You
there
have
you
one
go.
job, Chris.
That's how it
200
goes. That's how it all goes to shit.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know this.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Hang on.
So super congratulations go out to
Hang on.
Billy and Erin Lane, because Billy is getting a little more testosterone in the house.
My man.
He needed
yep, they're having a boy.
He needed a cleanup batter for that baseball team they're putting
No
together.
shit, huh?
Yeah, what a
I
great
think
what a
that's
great
so
family that
awesome.
is.
They really are,
So
man.
Yes, they are.
They really are. And I mean,
A pleasure to see those kids, and God, it's awesome.
Listen, Erin pulled up at the track when we got to the races, and she looked at Heather, and she made this cross-eyed face. She just went. It was so genuine.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
That's super cool to watch his transition.
Yeah, buddy.
And stuff that went through. What an amazing person he is. I mean,
And that race,
in all reality.
we got coverage coming up. Like, if you wondered how that race
Dude,
was
I'm
going to go
so
on
jealous.
on a
I
clay
missed
track,
that.
So good.
dude,
You can't even imagine.
it was so good. It was so old world America.
It took
you know?
everything I had not to drive 9 hours by
Kick my
myself to
ass.
come see that.
Oh, Mark, you would have loved it.
Oh,
It
I
was just-
would have.
It was so laid back, and it was just
Yeah.
such a genuinely good time.
You know,
Like,
and
it was-
again to support, what he's doing with that, like bringing that history back, and everybody, listening to you, Chris, talk about riding Kiefer's bike, and God, we've ridden everything in every condition, and knowing,
But
like
man,
you said,
there's something about that that's just
Yep, and
it's a whole other world.
And imagine that's how they all were back then,
Well, and this too. So I got, while we were at the Tennessee, the 10 Jam they called it.
Yeah.
Dan Toast was nice enough to let me go out on his Indian, which is a lot like Kiefer's bike.
Yeah.
And I got to go
Same
out on
here,
that
right?
clay track, and like there, when I came back in, me and Barry Wardlaw were standing there watching some of the racers, and Barry was like, "We're watching 100-year-old motorcycles race on dirt, race on a dirt track. We're actually sitting here watching that."
Yeah, that would have been, like I said, it took everything I had. If Dana could have got off work, I would have been there. I guarantee it. Yeah, I'm bummed I missed it.
All right, so now with the news underfoot, we can resume to the tech tip.
You got ticks.
Let's go over to the boys from S&S and see some tech.
Hey guys, John from S&S Cycle here. In today's video, we're going to be talking to you about our newest tool, our engine serial number lookup tool. For you guys out there that may have acquired a new motor, a used motor, or just want to understand what you have, an easy way to do that is by looking up the serial number that is on the primary side, located right here. Now let's get started. Once on sscycle.com, go to Tech Info, go to the engine serial number lookup, type in your serial number within the search bar, click search, and it will populate the information based off of your engine, including year, range it was made, and the components that are featured inside. At the very bottom, you will see the year code ledger. This will help you identify what year it was made. And that's our engine serial number lookup tool. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, follow us on our social media channels, and for more information, check sscycle.com.
Hi everybody, I'm Mondo from Denver Choppers, and I just want to take a minute to congratulate Chris and Heather for their 200th show, and doing a fantastic job. I love watching them on Sunday nights, and keep up the good work. You guys are the best.
Congratulations to Chris and Heather and the whole Cycle Source crew on your 200th episode. What a great thing for us to celebrate at the Great SmokeOut in September. We're all looking forward to a whole lot more. Congrats!
So, did he just confirm that he's coming to SmokeOut?
Sounded like it to me.
Dude, that's
he
awesome.
and Mrs. Monkey are coming to smoke.
That is so sick. That's great.
That's what I heard out of that.
I'm so excited. I'm excited and I'm nervous, and it's going to be awesome.
What are you nervous about?
When do we get to start announcing bands?
Hey, you can
we've got 'em.
announce that we just had an organization buy 50 tickets at one time.
I know.
Did I tell you guys I have to work that weekend?
You are working that
No.
weekend. I'll tell
You're
you
not
that
working for a
right
month.
now. We're all working that weekend.
Oh, boy.
So Jack Shit is on with us. Jack has signed on to be the MC for SmokeOut, and we're super, super stoked about that. It's really all of this is coming together like one big family reunion, man. It's going to be a blast. So put it on your calendar.
I'm ready.
I think this is it for tonight. I think that's all we can do. We've been here for our full damn near 120 minutes. Well, 90.
Next weekend we have 5 Dirty Bikers.
Nice.
Joining us.
Very cool. Very cool. If you guys haven't checked that out, that show is a hoot.
Yeah.
How'd you manage to get them out of your anus?
Hello.
I had to say it.
Hello.
And if you're watching 5 Dirty Bikers, you know what I'm talking about.
Everybody's like, okay.
See, Heather, this is the part where you start talking like Amelia and just say, I can't. I just can't.
Big D just finally got here.
No
He's
shit.
checking in from some bar in Marengo, Illinois. Well, it's a good thing he didn't miss our 200.
That's right. How could we have done it without him? We should have had him do a damn video. He's on there so much.
I know.
Oh, well, listen, man. Like I said at the beginning of the show, it has been our absolute pleasure to come back week after week and put this thing together. And the fact that you guys let us into your headspace and into your homes and let us be in control for 60 to 90 to sometimes 120. Sometimes it goes on and on and on. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
200 times.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for their continued support, and we hope you pay them a visit when you're in the market for great motorcycle parts, products, and events. S&S Cycles, Makuni American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke Saloon, Twisted Tea, The Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectral Oil, No School Choppers, Motion Pro Tool.